that happen. Okay, so we're back at PAX Prime. This is Greg Kasavin, creative director for SuperGiant Games. And you said you have some new stuff for Transistor now.
Yeah, that's right. This is, we first showed the game earlier this year at PAX East.
Yeah.
And then we went to E3 with a very similar build, but this, what we have here is our kind of hot off the presses latest build that shows some of the progress we've made over the last few months. Basically, getting the whole game closer to where we think it's ultimately going to be, once we're done.
Fantastic. So I didn't see it at E3. I saw it at East, and I've already looked at it really briefly, and it looks like the combat's been cleaned up quite a bit for animation.
There's a lot of there's a whole kind of different structure to it to a certain extent. There's like you get a better sense, I think, of like the structure of the game from what we're showing here, where you see like progress that you're making after each encounter,
right.
And there's a moment where you're able to kind of unlock some of the new abilities of the Transistor and so forth. So even though it's still kind of just a taste, it should be kind of provide a much clearer sense of how the game structurally is going to keep going, or at least how it will seem to keep going, as it were.
Excellent. So now I remember back at PAX East there was a little bit. You said marking your progress as you go. There was a little bit of a ghosting from other playthroughs. Other players. Is that still?
Yeah, that's still here. I don't know if you'll. You may or may not run into it here.
Okay.
But that is still happening. Some people notice it. Others not so much.
Excellent. So at PAX East, you're also kind of using it as a very brief alpha test or stress test for the game, correct? Because that was the first time you actually had a playable demo.
Yeah. I mean, certainly it's like super interesting for us to like put the game out there so that like getting hundreds of people to play it is super interesting for us, as far as like making sure that just validating everything about it, right? Like everything from the entire concept to the gameplay, like making sure people aren't getting stuck anywhere. And I mean, we're not using it, as a beta test per se, but it's still really valuable to watch people playing the game in different ways.
Yeah, more of an observational kind of thing. So if anything comes up later down the line,
and
we saw this happening, so we know how to.
That's right, and just getting people's feedback in general is incredibly important to us. I mean, although it's really important to us to kind of make the game in our own voice, and we're making the game we want to make. But at the same time, like we're not making this game like for ourselves. We're making it for other people, so making sure that the things that we're excited about with this game are coming across, and kind of translating to other people's experiences. That's really, really important for us, and gives us the confidence to keep moving forward in the direction that we're going.
Right on. Yeah. So going back to the new features you mentioned, what sort of broad overview could you give me for that?
Yeah, it's really I guess the main thing that is on display here that we didn't show at East is a sense of how you can unlock different features of the Transistor, the weapon that you're using, and like kind of reconfigure it. That's something that we kind of only implied at PAX East, but here you actually get to try it in a kind of preliminary and limited way, but hopefully you'll get a sense of where it's going, where you can unlock these new plugins that you apply to the different functions of the Transistor, so you're able to kind of mix and match its abilities. We're very excited about the kind of richness that creates in the gameplay. It's, like I said, it's just kind of an early, oh wow, that's so weird. She just ran into a nice kind of occupational hazard here. I think that was a weird thing she saw, but sorry, I cut off my own train of thought.
That's okay.
But that's really like it. I think there's a stronger sense of what the structure of the game will be like. That it's to give the shorthand more of the RPG style systems of the game.
Right. Okay. So now at E3 we saw you on stage with Sony demoing for part of the indie group, showing off for the PS4. How was that for you?
How was E3?
Yeah.
E3 was amazing and pretty surreal. Yeah, we didn't expect to go to the show at all. PAX is much more our speed as a show, and we thought we'd go from PAX East to PAX Prime, and that'd be it. And we'd like to stay focused on development and not have kind of too many distractions along the way, but the opportunity came up to go to E3, and Sony was those guys just loved the game, and that just turned out to be it turned out to make a lot of sense for us, and it was a really cool experience, like getting to show it to all those people there. Yeah, so the show went great for us there. It was pretty. I never thought on a personal level that I would be on that stage, because I've watched those press conferences like every year since they've existed pretty much, and never thought, even though it's very brief, it's like, and that's not the reason we did it or anything, but it was still kind of surprising to us that they're like, it really, from Sony's point of view, it was really like evidence of how important smaller developers really are to them, that they would believe so much in a small team like us to want us up there, so that we really appreciate that, obviously. So
yeah. So before and after that, then working with Sony's team, working with their SDK for the PS4, has that been very easy for SuperGiant? Yeah.
No. I mean, Sony's been super forthcoming with development kits and support and everything. We're still relatively early in PS4 development, since we only just started working with them just before E3. But yeah, it's been great so far.
Okay. So and sticking with that train of thought, what is the original plan for first release for Transistor? Is that something you're looking at right now, or is that still a ways down the road?
Oh yeah, so the game will come out early next year sometime. We're like in the thick of production right now, like building out the rest of the content, and it'll launch on PlayStation 4 and PC at the same time. Okay. So yeah, we're all. It's like a really kind of satisfying time in production where we're like past the pre-production phase, which is a really interesting phase where you're just like figuring out what the game is. But it can be, you don't know like when the good idea is gonna strike or whatever. So it can be scary because you don't know how long. It can just take a while to figure out what you're even doing. I feel like we're finally past that point. Excellent. To where we can now just, we know what we're building and have to build out the rest of it, and that tends to move at a, nice kind of brisk pace for us, because we like kind of all parts of it, but the part where you just kind of do it and get it to the quality level that we kind of see in our heads, it's satisfying because the work tends to go pretty quickly. So.
Excellent. Well, I think that's everything I had for questions, so thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you again.
Great talking to you.
Thanks.
Check out Press2Reset.com for news, podcasts, reviews, and more for all of your gaming needs.